Hi everyone, welcome to our stretch and release session for the weekend. So hopefully you're going to really enjoy this. We're going to start by thinking about our posture. We're taking our feet to about hip width apart, and I want you to spread out the toes and really try and make a nice connection down to the floor so we feel very grounded. We spread out the toes so we can feel all of the toes. We feel the balls of the feet and the heels nice and evenly weighted. We soften the knees slightly, so we're not, although we're standing up tall, we're not standing up rigidly. Soft knees, relaxed shoulders. And we just bring our hands onto our belly as we start to have a little bit of awareness of our breath. So we'll just feel a nice, easy, gentle, natural rise and fall through the belly as we're breathing there. And then we'll just stay connected to that. We'll try and do some more specific breathing as we go along. So just for now, have a general awareness of breath and dropping your chin towards your chest. We then lift and lengthen away, so we have a little stretch through the front of the neck here. We're keeping the head slightly forward for this movement, so we're dropping down, and then we're lifting and lengthening away, so the chin's going up and forward on a diagonal rather than tilting right back. We'll do one more time, down and up there. We draw the head back, so we're a bit more lined up. If we tuck in, it's a bit like a double chin type of position, so you pull the chin into the neck a little bit. Then we turn side to side, so we're just looking over the shoulder as far as we can for that one. So if I come here, you can see I'm looking over the shoulder there, come back in, look over. So it's just turning nice and gently, but trying to maintain a feeling of lengthening up through the crown of the head as we do that. We're going into our last one here. We come back to the centre, and we now take the ear up towards the ceiling, and I'm pushing my arm out on a slight downward diagonal here, just to help anchor this shoulder down so we get this nice lengthening in through the side of the neck. So we just might feel a little bit more tightness in this direction than we do on the others. I'm just going to do a couple more of those. So just lengthening through, keeping that softness through the knees and that general awareness of being in the body and being with the breath. And we've got our last one here. Let the arms relax, the head's going to come over, chin towards the chest, roll around, have a look over the shoulder on that diagonal, come back down around. So you're making almost a full circle, but not quite going all the way over the top. And we come back to the centre this time. We're going to pick the head up so we're nice and tall. And again, thinking of that lengthening of the neck and being tall. We then squeeze our shoulder blades back together, shrug the shoulders up by the ears, hunch them forwards and slide them down. So it's this rolling of the shoulders that we're trying to get now, really massaging into them. And that contrast of squeezing and then stretching here really nicely loosens out those shoulders. Let's take it back the other way. So we go into the hunch, the shrug, the squeeze, and then the slide. So everything is really nicely loosening, hopefully, through those shoulders. Might even feel a little bit of squeaking and crunching through there. And then we're going to roll down one more time and let the shoulders settle into the back. So they're just nice and relaxed. We're aware of the posture position, but we're not forcing them back there. We're going to loosen through the lower body, so we bring the hands onto the hips. We pull our tailbone underneath, that's a pelvic tilt, and then we stick our bums out the other way. And we just do a couple of those, scooping in and stretching out. Okay, let's do a couple more of those. So we're just lengthening here, then lengthening here, finding those two extremes of posture. We're going to settle into the middle, so your tailbone is down. Okay, so from here, we're going to bring the hands up onto the ribs. And we're going to try and keep the upper body fairly still and slide our hips side to side like that. So you can just see here that I'm bending one knee. So if I go back a little bit, you might be able to see the legs a bit more clearly. So I'm bending the knee and I'm sort of walking on the spot, but it's coming from the hips. Okay. So I'm just loosening the hips side to side. Then I'm going to come back into the middle, just like we did on the forward and back, and I'm going to put the forward and back and the side to side together. So we go out to the side, push forward, out to the side, and back round. So it's essentially a hip circle, but it's coming in this centre section of the body. So I'm not moving upper body around, I'm staying still here, and I'm just going there a couple of times. Then I'm going to go the other way. So I send my hip off to the side, come forward, to the side and back. So there's a little bit of movement through the upper body, but it's mostly trying to circle and loosen into those hips. That's why I'm holding the ribs, because they're staying fairly still. I'm going to come back into the middle. There. Okay. Then I'm still back in my normal standing posture, so I'm going to lift up onto the tiptoes. I'm going to float down. I'm going to flex the feet here. So I rise into the tiptoes, that's moving through the ankles and the big toe joints, floating down, and then I'm going into that flex. So that's still the ankles, but of course working through the other way. So we'll just do a couple of those. We'll do a bit more ankle mobility when we get onto the floor as well. Okay, let's go one more time, just up onto the toes, and that will be nicely finishing with the flex there. Plant the feet down, bring your arms up overhead, do a little swing down through there, and let's start to think about the breath a bit more now. So we inhale up, we exhale down, we reach, and we release. Inhale, exhale, stretch and swing. Let's do one more. And then this time, reach it up. Now from here, the arms are going to circle out into a horizontal position, like so. I'm going to turn my thumbs down, backs of wrists come together, and then I'm going to open wide through the chest. So I'm curling the upper back, and then I'm extending through the upper back. Curl and extend. Just think about the rest of your position. So feet are about hip width, knees are slightly soft, and I'm just really opening and closing through the upper body there. So curl the upper body and then extend away. So it is definitely more of an upper body rather than leaning forward and back here from the lowest back. It's very much upper body that's moving here. So thumbs down and then thumbs up, thumbs down and then thumbs up. Let's go one more time. Bring it back, let those arms come down to the side. Give the shoulders a little release out there and then step your feet out a little bit wider and we just take a full twist. Now with this is our like Tai Chi wrap. So we're going to take this hand, it's going to wrap and it's going to cross right onto the shoulder hopefully there as I twist through. So and this hand just taps onto the low back there. So then again to the side, so take this hand, grab onto the shoulder, this hand, and also have a look at the feet. So they're not staying still, lifting up that back foot as I come round. So everything is twisting. The whole body is turning here. Do a couple more of those, and then come back and release after this one. Good. So reset your posture so your feet is back into hip width apart. And we're going to be rolling down. So I'm just going to, hope you guys shouldn't need to change your position, but I'm going to go sideways on for this one. So I'm standing up tall, I'm going to circle my arms up and over and then roll down through my spine. So this is curling through the upper back, then the mid back. And we're going to start by just coming to the knees to begin with. So we're doing a bit like a cat position here. So I'm really curling my spine. And then I'm going to extend out here, so I'm actually straightening my spine, if I can, slightly extending rather than just straight. Then I go back into the curl and roll back up. Circle the arms up and over. We're going to do a couple of those, just to loosen the spine off a little bit more. And then we'll be taking it a little bit further. So it's up over the top. Try and curl and roll. Into that very curvy back position. Then lift the head and the chest. And again, roll back up. One more of those. Roll, extend, roll back up. Now we're going to come to the floor. So arms up and over, roll down as we have been doing, but instead of stopping at the knees, come on down. Now you can bend your knees so you can get there nice and comfortably. You'll see here my legs are quite bent and I'm draping. Rather than being stuck here rigidly legged, I'm going to come down. I'm going to walk it forward. So I'm coming into a plank position briefly. Make sure your elbows are slightly soft. place your knees down and take your right arm up. So we're coming into a twist through here. This arm is then going to come down through, so I'm coming the other way, and then come back up, change hands, reach it up, scoop through, come back, lift the knees so we're back into plank, walk the hands back in towards the feet so your bums are in the air, your knees are still probably bent a bit there, and then rolling it up through there. And we're going to take that a couple more times, so roll it down, walk it out, so we're thinking plank technique, hands under shoulders, soft elbows, place the knees down, take up, doesn't really matter which side you start with. I started right and went left, this time I'm starting left and going right, just so you're getting a good clear view of everything, but either way is fine. Okay, so we're going to lift back into plank, walk those hands back in, bums in the air, roll the spine, think of stacking yourself up, lifting up for your posture, roll it down, and all the time we're going to have a general awareness of our breathing. So we're not doing a set pattern of breath, we are just letting our breath flow, but we are aware of it, we're connecting to it, and we're thinking about really feeling the movement of the body, the breath all coming together. Although, like I say, it's not a set pattern, the main thing that happens with the breath is that we don't want to be holding, so we keep that awareness to make sure we don't hold and put tension in there. Okay, last time through here, onto the knees, into that nice big twist, and through, and then twist, and through, and everything's starting to feel a little bit warmer and loose now. So we're going to lift back up into our plank, roll it back up, bums go in the air, we come up to the top, we're coming back down one more time, so we're transitioning down, this time walking forward into our plank. So let's think a bit more carefully about our position here. Plank position, slightly soft elbows, nice flat body, and I'm going to lift myself up into a downward facing dog. So I'm pressing my ankles towards the floor, then your heels may or may not get to the floor, that's okay, it doesn't matter. Just stretching the back of those legs to get them there. Think of lifting your bottom up in the air as far as you can. Softness through those elbows so we're not locking, and we're just working there a moment. And we're taking a couple more breaths. Okay, we're going to come back forward into plank. We're going to send our bums back, so like this, so you're bending your knees, and we're going to bring right leg forward. So get it as far as you can, then help it if you need to. So just adjust your hand position and bring that leg a little bit further forward. So this is my right foot coming down here. My left foot is coming onto an angle, okay? So I've got slightly turned in, okay? And I'm going to come up. Now I'm going to actually change sides. Just you guys stay where you are, stay there. But I'm just going to change so that now that I've come up, I'm actually mirroring you. Okay, so this is my right leg, this is my left leg. So I've got this long, stretched out position, sort of like a triangle through the legs. So my right foot is pointing forward away from me, or whichever way you're facing, and then your left foot is turning slightly in. So from here, I'm going to bring my arms up into shoulder height, bend this right knee, and come on down. So I'm just starting into a warrior position. So just getting the legs a little bit warmer, starting to stretch a little bit more before we get into our main stretches. Now this right knee, so just keep your arms up there, but this right knee, we don't want to let it drift, so it twists inwards. Try to get that knee and your toes lined up. If you can bend it so you can just see your toes over the top. So rather than seeing your whole foot, you're trying to look for your toes. If you find, on the other hand, that your knee has gone like this, too far forward, that's not going to feel so great on the knee. So you'll have to widen your stance. You can get lower, by all means, there if that's feeling good. So we've been here for quite a while now, finding our position. This right elbow is going to come to the right knee, and I'm going to come up with this left arm. Now I'm still working on trying to get these hips in a little bit lower. try not to stick them back too much. You may not come as deep as this, but wherever you are, so it could be here, I'm still trying to drop the hips in a little bit, okay? And also watch this body twist. This left shoulder here, try and turn it up so your chest is facing towards me, towards the screen, okay? Now you can go even further from there if you want to. Stay on the knee if you prefer. You can get to the floor. So some of you that do yoga maybe a bit more regularly, you'll be much more familiar with these movements. So you can maybe get a bit deeper through it. Okay, so I'm going to come back up. We're going to go into triangle to finish off on this side. So I'm going to go hand to ankle, but I'm going to give you options. So all I've done is straightened out this leg and I'm pushing my hip a bit more that way. But again, it's trying not to collapse in here. So turning the chest forward and reaching up there. You might be feeling quite a good stretch. If the ankle is a bit low, you could go to the floor if you're super bendy. If the ankle's a bit low, try coming up. Don't press right on the knee, but you might come just above the knee or just below the knee. But either way, it's this twist, really, probably more than the legs we need to focus on. Okay, we've been there ages, so we're going to come up. We're going to come to centre. We're going to do a little forward fold. Just give the legs a little shake out just to loosen there. Both feet are facing forward now. And we're just going to come on down. So bend your knees a little bit, support your hands on your thighs. Now if you can reach to the floor, you're going to come here. If not, keep your hands on your thighs. Maybe go to the shins. I'm going to turn just sideways so you can see that position a bit more clearly. So my feet are facing forward. Like I say, if your hands are on the floor, you can just come into that forward fold as deeply as you like. Or if not, rest onto the hips, not the hips, sorry, just above the knees or onto the calves even to support. Wherever you are, just another couple of breaths while I get back into position. We're going to transition over to the left side. So we're going to roll back up, use your hands for support. So we've got right foot turning in now and left foot turning to face that way, okay? So it's back into that warrior first. So we come here, arms are up, remember for this one, so reaching, I'm using my arms to talk, but for you guys, just holding through there, if you can, think of creating length, quite strong arms. And then here, we're trying to get this knee above the heel here, okay? So, like I said before, it may be that you're a bit higher up, and I'm just checking that I'm not rotating that knee in so it comes out. I can just see the toes over the knee, so that's a good option there. If I want to get deeper than that, I can't send this knee too far forward, so I need to slide my distance longer and get deeper there. Okay, so either of those is fine. Okay, last couple of breaths in this position. So your body is facing me, but your knee is facing the other way. Okay, coming into the extended version of that. So the elbow comes to the knee. I've got this hand going high. And again, I'm trying not to stick my bum back too much there. So I'm down, more down in the hips and in my tailbone to the floor. Again, not dropping the shoulder in. Turn it out. So we're there. And we're here. You could be extending further, so you could be to the floor. Some of you I'm sure will be. And then we'll be there. We're doing our last couple of breaths on this side. We transition into our triangle. So I'm normally all right on ankle, but again, some of you could be floor or coming up a bit higher, and that's fine. I would just watch that you're not locking this leg out really hard on the knee. So just soften it, especially if you're supporting on the leg, either above or below the knee, because we really don't want to be putting backwards pressure on that joint. That's not good. So soften your knee a bit. And then, like I said before, as long as you've got the legs in the right place, you're really then trying to think of this upper body. So we're not dropping towards the legs. The shoulder is coming up, and we're here, we're turned. Again, it's feet going that way, but it's body facing this way. So we're in our last couple of breaths for our triangle. Okay, we're going to come back. We're going to come up to the top. We're going to shake out the legs We're going to walk them in a little bit. Shake them out, so really try and loosen through those legs. Okay? Oh, very nice. We're going to step the other way, so we're more towards, so we started earlier at the back of our mat and we travelled forward. Now we're standing at the front of our mat so we can travel backwards. So again, feet will be about hip width. We'll take a nice stretch up overhead. Again, we're just going to come into that little roll down movement we did before, so very soft through the spine as we bring ourselves to the mat. We're going to step back, right leg. So we're going to go here. So I'm doing my left leg, but it's just for mirroring. It's usually easier. Hopefully it is easier for you guys. Now this knee, this right knee is going to come down to the floor. I'm just going to turn the toes. If you need to tuck under with the toes there, that's okay. If you can, just release the ankle there. So we're coming into those hips, front of the hips. Our aim is to work through, of course, the whole body in our stretching session. So we did this on Monday in the session where we worked through our modified sun salutation. So same sort of thing here. You can either stay on your hands, and that might be quite enough stretch. Think of scooping your tailbone underneath slightly. So the same as we do when we stretch in the standing position. And then you can come up onto the knee there if that's comfortable. And again, it's trying to open up the front of this hip. So I'm dropping the tailbone and I'm encouraging forward. But like I say, if that just feels a bit strong on the stretch, it's absolutely fine to stay here. Definitely for me. So with boot camp earlier this morning, and then I've been out on my bike as well, so all of that is quite hip tightening, so definitely needs a stretch there. Now we're going to go from here. Oh, I've got to transition out of it. Definitely need my hand. So if you were up on the knee, bring your hands down. I'm going to tuck this toe under of the back leg there, and I'm going to push my hip back. Now try not to veer off to either side here. Send your hips straight back. And then this front foot now, my toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. And it's that hamstring again. So it's coming into the back of the leg. Again, try not to have too much downward pressure in this knee. Keep a little bit of softness in the knee and just send your bum away. So whenever we're stretching through the front of the body, we're always trying to scoop that tailbone underneath. When we stretch through the back of the body, we have to stick our bottoms out. So you get the hips really control. A lot of these muscles obviously are coming from or going to the hip. So the hip positions make a big difference on feeling those stretches. So we're just breathing the last couple of breaths here. Okay. And we're going to release it. We're going to come back into that, not quite so much pushing on the hip now, just more of a relaxed position. And then you can either stay here with the knee down, or you can lift up into an extended position. So that's basically just knee off the floor. And we're going into the twist. So I'm turning away from you. So that is towards the left leg. Watch out for this right shoulder here. Don't sink into this. This is why I've gone this way, so I could show you this. We don't want to sink here. So your head, your shoulders like going into your neck. So try and lift up. So hopefully you can see the difference there. And again, it would be the same if you prefer to keep that back knee down, that's fine. And that's a lovely twist, either way. And we're going to release it down from there. Oh. Okay, that was good. Right, we're going to lift up. So this left leg that was at the front is now going to push back. We're briefly coming into our downward facing dog. We're giving our legs a little bit of a shake out. And it's going to be right leg forward now. So come through. If you can get there in one step, great. If not, remember as I always say, come in, get that hand and help it get there. It doesn't matter if it takes a bit of time. It's not about doing it all in one go. It's about just getting into the right positions. Okay, so back knee is down. Foot is extended if that's comfy, but you can tuck the toes if it helps take pressure off the knee. You might even want a cushion under there if it feels a bit hard. Like I'm on a nice soft padded floor and a nice thick yoga mat, but if you're on a hard floor you may need that little bit of extra. So I'm just going to do that just so you can have a look and see. there. Oh, that's lovely. So we're here, and again, it's either weight down on the hands for a bit of extra support, or we can be coming up here to support on the knee if we need to. Okay, so just breathing, just letting it go, and it's thinking about sending the hips. Remember, as I said before, we're scooping those hips slightly under, and we're just breathing there. Okay. We've got the last couple of breaths, and then we're going to go to the other side, so it's now the hamstring. So I'm going to work it back here. Again, that might be where this cushion is beneficial. So I'm going to send, I should have said about the cushion on the other side, on the first side, shouldn't I? So hopefully, if you did need the cushion, you remembered it from Monday. Okay, so we're sending hips back. So try not to send my hips one way or the other. I'm just sending them straight back. Toes here pointing up towards the ceiling, so I'm resting on the back of the heel. And oh, much tighter on that side for me, definitely. Again, make sure that knee isn't pushing, like really flexing backwards. That's not so good for the knee. Keep a bit of softness there. You don't have to have dead straight legs to get really good hamstring stretching. You can keep that softness, protect the knee joint, but still get really strong stretching. Okay, we're coming into our last couple of breaths with this one. So just that general awareness of breath from here. Okay, super duper. We're going to come back up into our twist, which is our last one here. So again, you can keep that knee down, or you can lift up into the extended lunge, knee off the floor, and we're going to go here. So I'm going to stay knee down. It just feels really nice having my legs supported on that cushion. So yeah, I'm definitely going there, but lift it up. If you want that, you'll get a bit more of a stretch. Of course, it's more challenging. Remember what I said the other side? It was clearer to see on the other side, but this shoulder not coming up into this ear. So push yourself up. So you're almost like trying to lift away from your hand that's on the floor. We're twisting there. One more breath. It's just a really nice twist. Okay, we're going to release down. From here, I'm going to bring the front leg around. Oh, so you might have to adjust your positions a little bit there. I'm just going to pop off that cushion a moment. So I'm into all fours. I'm going to roll my spine up. So I talked about that cat position earlier when we did the standing roll down. So there's pulling the tailbone down, curling through the spine, stretching out the other way. So a bit of lengthening. And we just go up and down. We're also going to do a bit side to side here. So come back to the centre position and just slide your hips and your ribs away from one another. So you feel lengthening along here. And then, when you've done a couple of ups and downs, a couple of side to sides, put the movements together. So you're sending your hips up and down, but also sending them side to side. So you're really creating like a C and a U with the up and down with your spine, and then you're doing like an S shape with your spine on the hip slides. And that combination of the two together really nicely loosening all the way through the back muscles, the side body muscles, and loosening the spine. Right, we're going to send our hands slightly further forward, so push them out in front of you. Your bum's going in the air. Soften your elbows. So again, like we did with the knee earlier, we don't want to have dead rigid elbows locking, putting pressure on the joint. So soften your elbows and let your chest come down to your shoulders here. Do a couple of breaths, and then I'm going to give you an option. You're either going to stay here, or if your knees are okay bending a lot, see if you can settle back into child's pose. Still keep those arms creeping forward, and just breathe into child's pose. If your knees aren't a fan of that much bending, so it's quite a tight angle, we're going to stay high. It's a bit stronger on the shoulders, but it does take the pressure off the knees. And we're just breathing one more time. Very nice. Okay, so from here, we bring the hands and support ourselves to roll up. We're going to come down to lay on our backs now. So if you just take a little seat, if you want to have a cushion to support your head, that's absolutely fine, or you can just lay with your head flat on the floor. And we're going to go into our last little section through here. So I'm going to roll myself down, supporting the back, and come to knees bent, feet on the floor position. I'm going to start by bringing my arms up, so palms are facing towards one another. I'm going to take a big stretch back overhead. I'm going to sweep my arms away to the side and reach up to the top. So it's just a basic arm circle, just to really loosen those shoulders a little bit here. Okay, I'm going to go one more time. I'm going to pause with my arms up at the top and hold them here. I'm going to pull my heels in a little bit closer to my bottom. I'm going to tuck my tailbone and press my low back down and lift my bum off the floor. And I'm going to come up to the top. So I'm in a diagonal position. I'm going to stretch the arms back, circle them out, back up to the top, and then roll down. Shoulder blades first, ribs, lower spine. So you're having to do strong pelvic tilt here to press your lower back down. And your tailbone is the last thing, your bum is the last thing to come back to the mat. So I'm going to roll up, hold at the top, so I'm squeezing my bum, I'm squeezing slightly inner thighs here as well, so I'm not letting my knees wander out. Just watch if that's happened, if your knees have gone wide and your feet are lifting away from the floor, close your feet to the floor. Your knees aren't actually touching, but they're definitely having a sense of drawing in. So I've circled my arms and I'm rolling down. Just going to take 2 more times to do that. So roll it up, hold on to the top of the shoulders. There should be no pressure on the head or the neck here. It should be very comfortable because you're resting shoulders. You're not going high enough to put pressure on neck or head. Okay, last time, roll it up through. You can feel those bottom muscles a little bit as we come up there. Stretch back and around. Last time, roll it down, 1 bone at a time as you come down through the spine there. Very nice. From here, drop your arms away to the side. Place your feet together and your knees together. And now breathe out and roll your knees to one side. Breathing in to come back and breathing out to the other side. So you can see there the soles of my feet. So the soles of the feet come briefly together on the mat and then they turn. So I'm turning to the side of the ankle really as I come over. Try and keep your knees together if you can. And we are working a bit more with the breath here if possible. So breathing out, there, breathing in, come back. Last couple of those. Do a bit more twisting, stretch in a moment. And then we'll come back into centre. Okay, pop the feet back into hip width apart position again. Crossing, I'm doing right leg, stick it up in the air, rest your right leg. So I'm not mirroring you this time, I'm doing the same side. Right leg resting over the left knee. And I'm going to pick up from there. Now we're trying to stretch into the right hip, so the right bum cheek really, and around the outer hip and thigh. That might be enough, so you can let your arms relax. If you need a bit more, get your hands and put them here on the left leg and pull in. With your right leg, try and keep it more a flexed foot, so rather than just relaxing, flex the foot there, and then you've got that knee bent. While we're here, on the left leg, we do a little point and flex with the foot. So we're stretching the right hip, but we're also mobilising the left ankle. We do a little wiggle side to side, and we do some circles. So that's actually quite tricky to have one side stretching and the other side moving. Let's go round the other way, then loosen that ankle, just let the foot go floppy. See if your right hip has released a little bit. You can bring that in, maybe a little bit more just for a couple of breaths. Okay. Now we're going to stay in the same position. Let go of the leg though, put that left foot down on the floor. Keep your right foot hooked over, arms go to the side. This left knee and right foot are turning to the left. Okay, so let them come over. Now once they get there, that may be enough of a twist. My head's going to turn to look the other way. But I can also now extend this top leg, this right leg, over further if I want a bigger twist. If not, I would keep the knee bent in. And we're just going to stay here. Couple of breaths as well. Next time we exhale, we're going to gather. You might need to support your legs, but you're going to roll back to the centre. I'm going to change sides. So this left leg now is crossing to the right knee, and I'm going to pick up to that position. Flex the left foot a little bit, help protect this left knee. And then if you want that extra pull, you've got your hands coming through here to hold on to the back of the right leg and just pull it in. Again, we'll just stay here for a moment. While we're doing it, we're going to point and flex through that right foot. Then we're going side to side. Then we're going circles. And you're still feeling that stretch here, hopefully, on this left bum and outer hip and thigh. And then we're going to shake that foot off so it's very loose, and try and let your foot go floppy off your ankle. Okay. Couple more breaths. Like I said before, once you've done all that ankle mobilising, you might find that that stretch has eased a bit, so you can pull in a little bit further as those hips open a bit. Okay, so from there we're going to release it down. Now, so it's right foot on the floor, but I've still got my left leg crossed over, so I'm turning to the right. So spread the arms away and drop over there. Like I said on the other side, that might be enough of a twist, depending on how that feels. You might want to stretch the leg out, go a bit further into that twist. Sorry about the scratching noises. I've got both of the dogs are in here this morning, and Poppy's just decided that the bed is not comfortable enough and she needs to go under the desk. So she's battled her way through lots of wires and the chair and whatever else Darren's got under his desk. Okay, so we're into our last couple of breaths there. And we're going to roll back to centre on the next breath. So as you exhale, if it feels a bit heavy to pull everything back, use your hand, pop it into the leg and push yourself back over. And that feels a bit easier, a bit more relaxed to come back. So from here, we're going to gather both knees in, either together or apart, whichever's more comfortable. And we're going to draw some circles. So we're just rolling our back into the floor. Nice little sort of massagey effect in the low back. And then round the other way. Okay, we're going to stretch it out. So pop your feet down, point your toes, take your arms overhead, and really lengthen the whole body here from fingers to toes. Breathing, fill up your belly and fill up your ribs. So it's a bit deeper breath. And then we flex our feet and do the same thing. So you're now pushing down through your heels, lengthening through the back of the legs. For one last time. Couple of breaths there. Okay, we're going to circle the arms around, bend the knees so feet are on the floor, turn to the one side, whichever way is fine. We're going to push up from here, come and have a little seat, and just sit as comfortably as you can. Again, if you prefer to sit on a bit of height, you always sit on the cushion. Okay, we're going to take it into our last one now. I've got crossed legs here, but feet together is fine, if that's more comfy for your hips. So take this hand down, take this arm over, lengthen, keep this hip stuck on the floor and just extend over there as far as you can. Couple of breaths. So we're just encouraging that side bend position. And we come over to the other side, support and stretch, keep that bum stuck down and just lean through there. Couple of breaths. And we come back up. As we come to the top, we go our shoulders, one last little wiggle and roll, and we are done. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope that's made your body feel really nice, and I'll see you back in the live sessions next week. Well done.